another Tang Yilu, but it was kicked to the ground by Yu. Her smile had forced Bai Yunfei's heart to beat more rapidly than before when he saw it. His face began to grow flush with the red heat, and his mind felt as if it was swimming. How beautiful she is. Seeing how Liu Meng was treating this plebeian with such a smile, a flash of bitter hatred entered his eyes. How could we let him off so easily? At the very least, we should cut off one of his hands. Yanga. A dignified voice suddenly barked out, interrupting Jiang Yang's speech. Walking up from behind the two youngsters was the middle-aged man before father. Uncle. The one that both Jiang Yang and Liu Men called out to so respectfully was the father of Jiang Yang and the lord of the house of Jiang. Jiang Zhanshan. Menga is right. As a soul cultivator, how could you bicker with people of his kind? You even plan to kill on the streets. Are you not afraid of losing face for our Jiang? The man barked out to reprimand his child on his behavior. Just a moment ago, Bai Yunfei's heart was threatening to leap out of his chest when Jiang Yang threatened to cut off all of his hands. Hearing this middle-aged man advocate against that, had allowed for Bai Yunfei to let out a sigh in relief. But when the man looked to him, Bai Yunfei immediately felt as if his entire body had been thrown into ice. Even his soul shivered at the man's gaze. It was many a times more intimidating than the one Jiang Yang had given to him. Even breathing was a challenge for him now. Fortunately, this sensation had only been for a moment before receding away. Heaving heavily, Bai Yunfei could feel beads of sweat drip down from his face one after another. Your mother is still waiting for us to return. Don't let her wait even longer. Jiang Zhanshan spoke. But seeing how his son was still quite discontent with the outcome, he let out a casual suggestion. If you're still not satisfied with this let your servants teach him a lesson. Unwilling to say anything more, Jiang Yang gave one of his servants a look before heading off with the others into the city center. Two of his servants didn't leave with him. Instead, they glared ominously at Bai Yunfei as they approached him. Now that Jiang Zhanshan had spoken, Bai Yunfei knew that there would be no escaping this beating today. If he resisted, the chances of being injured even worse would only just go up. With no other choice, he curled up into a ball and protected his face while the two men began to beat at him with their hands and feet. Already some distance away, Jiang Yang couldn't help but cast a look backwards with an eye of resentment. However, he then turned his head to look at Liu Meng for a brief moment before returning to his guise as an elegant noble. Waving his fan, he continued to introduce Liu Meng to the different parts of Taylor's city to her. Later that night,